was something that should not be considered news on any platform in any year, decade, generation. At no point, in no place, is this news or should be news to anybody. But for those that watched the Super Bowl, you know, the great hip-hop acts that performed during halftime, obviously Eminem, making all of the racist conservatives very angry with the fact that he kneeled. Just kneeling at all is offensive to these people. That's how fragile they are. It doesn't even have to have the American national anthem playing in the background. No flag involved. Just any kind of kneeling really makes the racist people of this country just quiver and quake and just cry and be very angry and just upset and offended. But on that same day, another one of these hip-hop stars did their best to offend all of the fragile people in the conservative party, and that person being Snoop Dogg, who was apparently caught on video, get this, people, smoking weed. Before his performance, Snoop Dogg smoked marijuana, cannabis. He lit it on fire, and then he put it in his mouth, and then he sucked it into his lungs, and then he blew it out before he went to perform. Also, water is wet, fire is hot, and these people that cry and complain about this are stupid and have nothing better to do in their lives than to complain about somebody who's one of the biggest icons of the substance known as marijuana. He is one of the massive stars whose brand is closely tied to cannabis. But also, how dare this man, this weed icon, this marijuana connoisseur, how dare he consume this product, this substance that's never killed a human being in the history of humankind, to ingest this substance into his body that is also recreationally legal in the state in which he was doing it. How dare he participate in legal activity? Meanwhile, surrounded by millions of people that overpaid to be at this sporting event that most people don't give a shit about, but it's just an event that people need to show up. It's like Coachella. It's like you're have a different status when you say you've attended Coachella. Same thing with the Super Bowl. If you can say I spent tons of money on these overpriced tickets for a game that may or may not have been good, I don't know. I didn't watch it. But guaranteed those people were trashed on another recreationally legal drug known as alcohol. A drug that is wildly known to be very deadly to human beings. But people got to cry about Snoop Dogg smoking weed. Pathetic. It's just these people cry about every little thing that doesn't fit into their perfect little boxes of how humans should exist. It's just blasphemy. It's evil. It's disgusting. It's like there are no rules to this life. And if you are Snoop Dogg, you must smoke weed before performing in a historical manner, representing not only hip-hop, not only West Coast hip-hop, but hip-hop from the 90s, from the greatest generation. So I laughed. I laughed at the fact that people, I think some news, it was like Newsweek. Like, that's not news. It's not news at all. That's like broadcasting that Trump filed for bankruptcy because another one of his businesses failed. Like, that's how often Snoop smokes weed. He smokes weed as often as Trump is involved in something that fails. But yeah, that's awesome. Snoop Dogg. Great. I didn't see the performance. Again, I I can't remember the last time I watched the Super Bowl. I tried to get into NFL back when I lived in San Diego and the Chargers had a shot. Had a shot. I tried to be a fan of the Chargers. Like, oh, I'm living in a city that has a professional football team. I should support them. And then I quickly realized, like, oh, I have no control over this team that is poorly managed. And it's just going to cause me anger and frustration to support this team that I have zero control over and that I don't agree with. So I had to tap out. I was like, I can't do this. This is disappointing. And then football in general, I just got tired of it. It's just, I mean, it's the Super Bowl itself. It's just, it's mostly people care about the commercials and the halftime show. The game is boring. They do a play and then commercial break. They do a play. Oh, let's talk about this play for a half hour before they do another play. It is just a lot of breaks in between small bits of action. So seeing Snoop Dogg smoke weed must have been one of the most entertaining things. But I heard the halftime performance was great. I'm sure at some point I will watch it. You know, I'm a fan. I was, a fan of all of them, all of their music from the 90s. Not, I don't know, the last time I've listened to any of their stuff. I haven't listened to any of the new Eminem stuff. It's been a while. I've gone on a different journey when it comes to hip hop over the years.